Hello friends and family of YouTube, it's Travis again, and today we're going to be hiking up to what I consider one of the hidden gems here in the Smokies. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you'll pass through the city of Townsend. When you get to the Townsend Y, turn right going towards Cades Cove. Drive for less than 30 seconds and then make your first left going towards the Tremont Institute. You'll drive for less than 5 minutes and you're going to pass the entrance to the Tremont Institute over on your left, but you want to continue to go straight. Also note that there are quite a few potholes, so be looking for those, and also know that this gravel driveway does throw up a lot of dust, so your car will be very dusty once you drive up here and back. This is the first of 2 one-lane bridges that you will be going across. And this is the second one-lane bridge that you'll cross. It's about a 15-minute drive from the Townsend Y to get to this point, but there is quite a bit of parking here. So let me get situated and we will get started. Not sure if you can see it or not in the background, but almost a full moon. That'll be disappearing here very soon, but anyway, pretty awesome sight early in the morning. Alright, so welcome back, and as I mentioned, we're going to be hiking up to one of my favorite spots. It's Indian Flats Falls, and let me just pan around here real quick. So there is plenty of parking up here, which is awesome, and then we've got to go across this bridge here to get to the actual trailhead itself. But I want to show you just the kind of view that you can get with really not even having to walk very far. Hopefully you can see that. Let's pan around to this side. The water below. And then hopefully you can see the moon back there in the background. Not sure how well it's going to show up, but anyway, let's head this way. So Indian Flats Falls is located on Middle Prong Trail. So when you get to this spot, you definitely want to go to the left. There is a trail over here to your right. That is the Thunderhead Prong Quiet Walkway. I think it's maybe a mile, mile and a half. Just goes up and turns back around, but pretty good little hike. And then we're gonna head this way. Now, Indian Flats Falls, this hike is not for the faint of heart. It's 8 miles round trip, probably take about 4 hours. So it is a pretty good little trek, but this particular trail has a lot of cool sights on it. That's one of the reasons I like this one. But Indian Flats Falls, like, you can find it on all trails, or even like any of the paper maps that show spots here in the Smoky Mountains. But when you get up here to it, it's not marked. So if you don't know where to go, it's definitely difficult to find, but I'll show you where that's at. So here we go, let's get started. So after about a 10-minute walk or so, you'll come to this spot, which they've got a bench here that you can stop and take a break. And you've got a pretty impressive view right here. So you don't have to walk that far, and you can still get some really nice sights there of the Smokies. So I am the first one on this trail this morning, which is what I always attempt to do. I always like to be the first one on the trail. Makes me feel like I've got the whole place to myself. But I think the reason is, when I left the house this morning, it was 38 degrees, probably closer to 35 here in the mountains, and definitely that temperature will decrease as we get into the higher elevations. But hopefully by the time I get there, it'll start to warm up a little bit. But anyway, definitely a cool morning. You can tell I'm bundled up a little bit more than normal, but this is my favorite time to hike during the winter months, because I mean, as you're going uphill, you get hot, build up a sweat, but it's cool enough where it kind of keeps you cooled down. But oh, here's a sight real quick. Almost forgot about this one. Let me pan around here so you can see it. Just be careful with your footing here. Let's see if I can pan down a little bit. See if you can get a view of that, of the river below. Just have to be careful here. One small slip, and it could mean a bad day. All right, so you walk about another 10 minutes, and you've got 2 more of these benches that you can sit on. And I'll give you a quick shot of the view here, which is another pretty awesome sight. This is actually called Lynn Camp Falls. So it's about a 20-minute walk, and you're right here at it. All right, so this is the first big landmark that you come to. And I don't know why I'm so fascinated with this spot, but I don't know, it just feels like you're exploring a cave when you're really not. Let's walk through here real quick, just to give you a view. More of a struggle than I remember. Anyway, get a pretty good view of the stream here. And then this is what it looks like on the other side. Level that off a little bit so it looks better. But a really nice view here of the mountains and the stream. Alright, so our next little spot here is we get to cross this old wooden bridge, which is always a favorite of mine. And it's just going over a little small stream, creek that's pouring into the main river here. Try to give you a shot of that real quick. So the first part of this trail follows the river for quite a ways, so a lot of scenic views until you get up here to a certain point and we break off and then just start going up into the woods. But for the most part, a lot of cool spots to stop and see. All right, so here's the next landmark, and unfortunately there's nothing here that really sets this off for you to see it, but just pay attention. You'll see, like, hopefully you can see the trail, but you can see some of the rocks pointed in this direction. But this little path goes up over the hill. And you can come back here and see the old rusty car or truck. I can't really tell. Not much left of it. But looks like it was abandoned back in the logging days. And now this tree is fallen right down on top of it. So not a lot left, but hopefully you can see that. All right, the next stop is the intersection here with Panther Creek. So let's see, Tremont Road, 2.3 miles. So that's how far it is to get to this spot. But Panther Creek Trail is right here, and let me show that to you. All right, so the problem with this particular trail is that you have to go across the water in order to do it. And there's really not a good spot that you can get across without getting wet. So when it's 35 degrees out, probably not the best time unless you've got some waterproof waders. But I have hiked this. I did it in the summer, and I actually did the full loop and came back around and came down Panther Creek, and that is a tough trail. So if you're going this direction, it's almost 100% uphill. It's a lot of rocks, basically like a old riverbed is what it's like. So not the easiest one in the world to do, but still, it's one of those, if you're trying to knock off all 900 miles of trails in the Smoky Mountains, that's one that you have to do at some point. So anyway, just remember that you do have to go across the water in order to get to that trail. But we will continue on. All right, so here was another spot I was going to show you, and I almost missed it. So if you see these two trees that have the huge root systems that have blown over, like right across from that, you'll see a little pathway. And I mean, I was really looking hard for this spot because I normally miss it. And in the summertime, when everything's grown up, it's almost impossible to find. But anyway, just the remnants of an old building, I guess, that would have been back here in the day. And there's like concrete pad. I thought there was another, yeah, like there's another concrete pad right here. So definitely something back here in the day. I'm assuming it was a building that they used for the logging industry, and this is all that remains. But anyway, I just think it's always kind of cool to find some old pieces of history when you have the opportunity. But anyway, that's not anything major. You probably don't think that's all that interesting, but I find that stuff pretty cool. But just remember, it's right across from where these two big root systems are from these trees that were blown over from the storm. But we will continue on. And just a few feet from where we stopped to see that old chimney, you can see this old wall, that stone wall there. And then you come up to this opening, which not much here, but nice big rock over here that you can sit and rest if you need to. But that at least gives you a landmark to kind of know where that one spot was. But we will continue on. We still got a little ways to go to get up here to the waterfall. All right, and you get to go across this bridge, which I always think is pretty cool. Give you a shot real quick of the downstream looks like here. And then this shot right here. Tough to beat that. But anyway, we will continue on. All right, so this is the critical piece that you need to know in order to find Indian Flats Falls. So when you come up the main trail here and you see this curve in the path and it kind of opens up, the trail will continue on up through there, and I have done that. That's the circle I made and went down Panther Creek, so I've got a video on that one. But you're gonna see this rock wall. Okay, I know it's not much to look at, but that's really your only landmark. But you're gonna follow this little trail back through here, and it'll take us back to Indian Flats Falls. So this trail is narrow, and it's got some obstacles to get around, so I'll show you those here in just a second. All right, you've got some down trees. This one's not so bad, but I think we got a couple more up here we've got to go either over or under. All right, so here's one that I do remember. So we're gonna go under this. And you gotta be careful down through here because these rocks are slick. Alright, so here we have Indian Flats Falls. And you can see there are a lot of dead leaves and it is wet. So this is gonna be super slick. But the one thing that I've noticed, there used to be like a little island out here with a tree, a dead tree that had fallen. And I bet when we had all the rainfall from Hurricane Helene, I bet that washed it out, because this definitely looks different. But anyway, let me see if I can get down through here without falling. And I'll show you real quick the area. All right, so there's the main waterfall. And then let me pan around here. Here's the secondary waterfall. And if you look closely, there's a third one right there. So 3 different tiers. And the water flow today is moving pretty good, so really nice. Right now I've got the whole place to myself, which is pretty awesome. Alright, so that is Indian Flats Falls. It's about 8 miles round trip. It took me about 2 hours to get to this point, so 4 hours overall. Again, like I mentioned, this is on the All Trails app and even some of the regular maps, but there's no signage up here to get to this particular waterfall, so you really have to know where to go in order to find it. But hopefully, if you are in the area and 8 miles is within your hiking range, I would highly recommend this one. This is a beautiful area. Not a lot of people come all the way up here to see the waterfall. I was the first one on the trail, so I'm the only one here right now, so I've got the whole place to myself, which is always awesome. But hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, just keep walking.